Welcome to Jollof and Fiction, home of African literature and stories, the kind that warm your hearts like a fresh pot of jollof. Today, you're tuning into a recorded session of our online book discussion, so sit back, relax, and join the conversation.
The book I Will Marry When I Want by Thiong'o, and I'm trying to remember the other guy's name, the other writer's name. Mirii. I hope that's how it's pronounced. So briefly, before we comment, I'd just like to give us a rundown of the background, setting, and timeline of the book. Can you guys hear me? Please indicate if you can hear me. Who can hear me, right? Okay, thank you very much. My voice is very low. Okay, someone said my voice is very low. Is it better now? Is it better now? Sorry, I can't see responses. Is my voice better now? You can type in the chat box. Just a bit. Wow, okay. Alright. So I was saying I'm going to give a brief rundown of this setting of the play and the timeline. The play I Will Marry When I Want is set in Kenya during the mid to late 1970s, which is I think about roughly 14 years after Kenya gained independence, which is in December of 1963. Yeah, they gained independence 3 years after Nigeria. And interestingly, Kenya was also colonized by Britain. Yeah, the story is set particularly within the Gikuyu tribe of Kenya. Gikuyu, I think you guys have seen it already in the play. Gikuyu is spelled, I'm sending it to the chat box now, the spelling of Gikuyu. Yeah, it's in the chat box, Gikuyu tribe. And traditionally, the Gikuyu culture holds deep roots in a matriarchal origin, which means that in the early Gikuyu tribe, the woman was often regarded as the head of the house. Not necessarily head, but the roots of the house. So it was normal for men to bear their mother's name, unlike some culture in Nigeria that is somewhat, that is patriarchal actually, like the Igbo culture and several other cultures where a man has to bear his father's name. But the Gikuyu culture, it was okay and common for the man to bear the mother's name, since they believe that everyone came from a woman. And it's in that setting that we have Kiguunda, the male character in this play, who bears his mother's name, Kiguunda wa Gadoni. Let me type it out in chat box. Kiguunda wa Gadoni. Yeah, so the word wa in Gikuyu means of. So we have Gikundu of Gadoni. Gadoni is his mother's name, and his daughter is also named after the mother. So that explains a lot of things. So I think there's a part in the play where he says, I Gikundu wa Gadoni. So he's saying, I Gikundu of Gadoni, his mother. However, I just have to point this now that the current Gikuyu culture has evolved, and they are now patriarchal, more like a mix of both. So there are people who still bear their mother's name, and there are others who now bear their father's name. But I just wanted to put that out there so that we get context to what we're about reading. Yeah, so let's delve straight into it. It's so it feels so exciting that I got to learn all these things by just reading a novel, a play actually. So I just got to learn that Kenya was also colonized by Britain, and they got their independence 3 years after Nigeria got theirs, and about this Gikuyu culture and how matriarchal it is. All that by just reading. Thank you guys for listening to my podcast. So for those who are going to be playing a character, reading a character, what you do is, if you can share your screen, or if you have two devices, maybe a laptop, you can read from it. When you're done reading, you mute yourself, the other person will speak. Now there's a part in every play or script that is called an action line. That's the description for each scene. So like describing, he's seated with his wife, blah blah blah, etc., etc. That's called an action. I appointed Carl Bien to read the action part, but I'm not sure she's in this call. So who will I appoint now? Let me see. Inyebon, can you hear me? Hello, Inyebon, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Inyebon, could you please read the action part? That's wherever there's a description. But I'll just tell you where to read. There's some parts you will not have to read since it's very long. Give me a minute, let me share my screen so that I can split my screen rather.
Okay.
All right, so I believe those who are I gave roles are ready. We are going to read from page 7, and I mentioned that 7, like the actual page number on the book, not your paging. So, and for that, okay, neighbor, I don't know why you're laughing. Okay, so let's start from page 7 towards the ending where we see. So this conversation now is between leader Kiguunda and Wangechi. Wangechi, who is Wangechi? Wangechi, please unmute yourself and say hi. Okay.
Hi.
Okay, it's nice to meet Wangechi, my wife, my beloved wife in Spain. Kiguunda, Wangechi, and leader. Leader is being played by Samuel. Samuel, you can hear me. Unmute yourself and speak.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, someone that said he can't play the task of the poor. All right, so Inebon, please go ahead and read that part. There's a part. I don't know if you're looking at page 7 now. The group leader now enters Kiguunda. So you read there, and there's a part where soloist and chorus. I would like you to read that part too. Do you follow? If you can understand me.
Hold on, let me reach that part. Page 7.
Yeah. Danny, are you aware you're sharing your screen?
Okay.
Hold on, please. Just hold on a bit. Danny, you're sharing your screen. I think you meant to split your screen instead of sharing it. You're seeing your screen. Judith, I saw your message. I don't know if you could reach out to Alfred if he's on this call. I don't know, because I'm kind of multitasking now at the moment. Judith, if you can hear me. Okay. And Calben, you're online. Sorry, I didn't know you'd come online on time. I just appointed in your bunk to read the action online. But thank you anyway. All right, so are we all ready? So
Continue.
Yes, you read. I just informed Calben because I told her before time, but she said she had network issues. So,
My name is pronounced Chalbien.
Chalbien. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Sorry, Chalbien. Okay. Enable, please go ahead and read.
Okay. The group leader now enters Kiguunda's house and stands by the door, holding a container for subscriptions. Gatuni also enters and stands where she had previously sat.
Praise the Lord.
We are well.
We are well.
And you too, we hope.
We belong to the sect. They belong to the sect of the poor, those without land, those without plots, those without clothes. We want to put up our own church. We have a harambe. Give generously to the God of the poor, whatever you have put aside, to ward off the fate of Ananiah and his wife.
You can hardly afford to feed our bellies. You think you can afford any for Harambe?
Leader goes out quickly. The group resumes their song.
Enable, continue, read the soloist and chorus.
Oh, okay. The devil of stinginess must be crushed. Hallelujah. Let's crush him and press him to the ground, for the second coming is near. He is making it difficult for us to build churches. Let's crush him. Hallelujah. Let's crush him and press him down, for the second coming is near. The devil of darkness must be crushed.
Take away your hymns from my premises. Take it away to the bush. That we build a church in honor of poverty. Poverty. Even if poverty was to sell at 5 cents, I would never buy it. Religions in this village will drive us all crazy. Night and day. You are invited to a Harambe for fundraising for the church. Which church? Of the White Padre and Virgin Mary. You are invited to Harambe for the church. Which church? Of the PCA, the Scottish one. Harambe for the church. Which church? Of the Anglicans, of the Greek Orthodox, of the Kikuyu Independent, of Salvation Army, of the sect of Deep Waters. Are we the rubbish heap of religions? So that wherever the religions are collected, they are thrown in our courtyard. And now the sect of the poor. Religion. Harambe. Are those church buildings? And those church buildings are only used once a week? Or is this another profitable business?
You know, they were here the other day trying to convert me.
Who? The same lots?
Themselves. The ones that came from America very recently. Those ones. The Harambe is not local. They say you take them 1/10 of all you earn or harvest. Even if it's 1/10 of the maize or beans you have grown in your small shamba.
All that Harambe to America.
What are they called now?
And why don't you follow them to Rome, Greece, or that America? The devil must be crushed. Crush him, for darkness is falling.
That voice of yours attempting foreign songs could frighten a baby into tears.
This voice that belongs to Kiguunda Wagodoni. Don't you remember before the emergency how I used to sing and dance the Muchungwa dance? Was it not then that you fell in love with these shapely legs?
You, able to dance to the Muchungwa.
Gadoni, bring me that sword on the wall. I want to show this woman how I then used to do it. Sorry. All right, I think this is the end of this particular part. So I think we'll move on to the next reading. Thank you all for this word. The next reading is where page 21 to 23. 21 to 23. Let's all turn there. Sorry, give me a minute. Let me show you where you're going to read from.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I would start from. Okay, you should have. So as soon as I say, "Give me water to wash my feet," in Ebon, you come in. That's page 21, I believe. Yes, page 21. So I begin. You should have said that it is the modern men who have got prickly needles. Give me water to wash my feet.
Again, she brings him water in a basin. Kiguunda goes and gets his tire sandals from the floor. He now imitates the gait of young men as he walks towards the basin, talking all the time.
Modern young men, you can never tell. Ask them to put on bell buttons and to put on platform shoes, and then to whistle whistles of hypocrisy. That's all they're able to do. But it has well been said that the father and the mother of the beautiful one have no ears. Marcia, can you hear me?
Could it be the reason why?
Why what?
Muhuni's father and mother, Kikoi and Jezebel, are visiting us. They have never before wanted to visit us.
To visit? Yes, to say what?
It could be that
you women, you're always thinking of weddings.
why not? These are different times from ours. These days, they sing that love knows no fear. In any case, why can't you see? Your daughter is very beautiful. She looks exactly the way I used to look. A perfect beauty.
You, a perfect beauty.
Yes, me.
Don't you know that it was only that I felt pity for you?
You, who used to waylay me everywhere all the time, in the morning, in the evening, as I came home from the river, as I came home from the market, or as I came back home from work in the settlers' farms. Can't you remember how you used to plead with me, saying you had never in your life seen a beauty like me?
That was long before the state of emergency. Your heels used to shine bright. Your face shone like the clear moon at night. Your eyes like the stars in heaven. Your teeth, it seemed, were always washed with milk. Your voice sounded like precious instrument. Your breasts were your breasts were full and pointed like the tip of the sharpest sword. As you walked, it seemed as though as they were whistling beauty tunes.
In those days, we used to dance in Kenyan forest.
A dance would cost only 25 cents.
In those days, there was not a single girl from India up to Githiga who did not die to dance with you.
You two would swing your skirts till the guitar player was moved to breaking the strings, and the guitars used to sound tunes that silenced the entire forest, making even the trees listen. So that's the end for this section. Thank you very much, guys, for reading. And the last one, okay, not the last one. Next one is page 50 to 52. Page 50 to 52.
Ndugire. Ndugri. Ndugire, a piece of his meat. Nabas.
Yes, go ahead. I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Where am I reading from?
Yes, from that part where you read. Continue.
Ndugire, a piece of his mind. As he moves towards them, they move backwards, eyes to the door, at the same time gesturing to Kiguunda to be cool and patient.
And you, the children, the amazing ones, since Waki, this is my own wife, Gadoni's mother. I have properly married her, having paid all the bride wealth according to our national ways. And you dare call her a whore? That we should now be blessed by a human like me, as he's shaking hands with God. Let me tell you one thing, Mr. Cree. Every home has its own head, and no outsider should interfere in other people's homes. Go away, you devils.
As he says the last words, he rushes for the sword. Seeing him take the sword, the Kois and the Nguguris flee forward by Kiguunda, holding the sword. Kiguunda comes back, laughing and swinging the sword in a kind of victory dance, making them.
Jesus should hurry up and come back for his amazing ones.
See what you've done now. Chasing away our guests. You did not let them say what had really brought them here. Tomorrow you'll be without a job.
Before Kiguunda answers, a car hoots. After a second, Gatoni comes running. She is dressed in new clothes, new platform shoes, and has a new handbag. She also got new earrings. She now stands as if she is in a fashion parade.
Gathoni, from where did you get these clothes?
Gathoni removes her handbag from one shoulder to the other. Then she walks across the stage furtively, and she cannot take her eyes from her new self. She walks about as if she is still in a beauty contest or a fashion parade.
Oh, this dress, John Muhimi bought it for me.
What about these shoes?
Platform shoes, he bought them too.
Muhuni, son of Ahab, Kiyu, Wakonul.
Yes.
Another hooting. Gatoni takes out a lipstick and begins to paint her lips red.
Listen, when did Koi's son marry you? I want you to take back this dress to him and all these other fineries that of a whore.
Even these shoes worn by rebels.
And I go back to my rats.
A man brags about his penis, however small. A poor house, but mine. Don't overstep the boundaries, else you get lost. Why this is a pack of
Who is that girl who does not like being well dressed? And who does not like to feel that she is human at times? So that when now and then she steps on the road, people's eyes turn to her and gasp. There goes Miss Gadoni. It's poverty and not riches that forces a woman to go without perfume.
Do you see how you answer your father? Don't you know a maiden once drowned in a sea of sweetness? And where are you going?
John Muhini wants me to accompany him to the coast, Mombasa, for a week.
Mombasa, Swahili land? Do you think to be smiled at is to be loved? You will now get lost.
Come, if you go to Mombasa, then find another home.
Bye.
Now the hooting continues. Gatoni puts things back in her handbag. For a time, it looks as if she is torn between her loyalty to her parents and her loyalty to John Muhwini. When she hears another hooting sound, she walks to the door, turns once to her parents and says goodbye. She goes out. Kiguunda sits down on a chair and supports his head in his cupped hands, dejected. Wangechi slowly walks to the door and peers outside. Then she comes back and she too slumps into a seat. There is silence between them. There is complete silence in the house. After some time, Wangechi begins to nod her head as if a new idea has occurred to her. She stands up and walks slowly to her husband's side and puts a hand on his shoulder.
Don't be so dejected. A parent is never nauseated by the mucus from his child's nose. A she-goat suckles its young, however deformed. I have just thought of something. Couldn't that be the reason?
The reason what?
Why the chaos wants you and me to first have a church wedding?
Why?
You have eyes and you can't see. Or has the language of the eyes become as hard as the language of the ear? You yourself had earlier thoughts that they were visiting us to talk to you about this. Your 1 acre. Because of the insecticide factory they and their foreign friends want to build. Didn't you even show me the letter from Ikua in Ditika? Kia did not say a thing about it. And if they had come here on account of your piece of land, Kioi would have brought Ikua along. Our title deed is now out of danger. So what else would make them want to see us two in a church wedding? Think.
So what?
Gathoni and John Muhuni. Didn't you also think that they were coming to tell us that our daughter should not keep the company of their son? Did they mention anything of the sort? Did they say they don't want Gathoni and John Muhuni together?
Kiguunda raises his head. He and Wangechi look at each other. Then Kiguunda nods his head several times, as if he too has suddenly seen the lights.
Thank you very much, guys. So we go for the last reading now, page 100 to 103.
Nabas, where am I reading from?
From Ikua Goes Out on page 100.
Okay. Ikua goes out. Koi goes on calculating a bit and jotting a few things down. Suddenly, there is an urgent knocking at the door. He hides the money. Before he has hidden everything away, Kiguunda and Wangechi, in their old working clothes, enter.
We have come because something unexpected has happened. Instead of Wangechi and I marrying in church, the children had better marry first.
Children? Which children?
Muhuni and Gathoni.
Daniel, your cue.
Okay. John Muhuni. John Muhuni. Which Muhuni are you talking about?
Has he not told you? That he made Gadoni pregnant.
My son.
Samuel, could you read? Sorry, Danny, I think your network is quite slow. So could you permit me to ask Samuel to read? I don't know, because it's quite slow. But if you can walk it through, no problem. But it's just very slow, and this part is quite heated up. Hello, Daniel, can you hear me? Samuel, please, could you go ahead and read Koi's part, please, from
Like my network is bad, so I don't know.
Okay, don't worry. Samuel, Samuel, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so could you read from? We'll start from. Has he not told you? I will be the one to say it. Has he not told you?
What? Tell me.
That he has
That he
made
made
Gadoni pregnant.
My son can't do a thing like that. We have brought him up in Christian ways.
Oh.
Go away from here. I don't want to hear any nonsense from you. Why are you unable to look after your children?
Oh, we shall go to court. We are all equal before the law.
Did you say court? Law? Run. Hurry up. We shall see on whose side the law is. Your side or our side. There are no laws to protect parents who are unable to discipline their children, who let their children become prostitutes. I'm a mature person. I've been made mature by Christ, and I can let my son marry only from the home of a mature person.
So I'm not a human being, so I have no feelings. Is that why you dare call my daughter a whore in my very presence? Don't you know how it pains when I truly know that it's your son who lured her away from home? Now I'll prove to you that I'm a human being. This sword is my law and my court. Poor people's law court. You die now, kneel down. Kneel. Look at yourself. You Nebuchadnezzar. You are the one turned into a beast. Walk on all fours, my friend. Walk on your feet and hands. Eat grass. Christ, the head, is watching you. Walk.
Don't kill him. Let him sign an agreement.
This one, to sign an agreement?
Yes, I'll sign. I'll sign anything you want me to sign. Even if you want them to go to church tonight, they will go.
Your church is, let me tell you a thing or two, Mr. Ahab Q. Even if you are now to give me all the wealth which you and your clansmen have stolen from the poor, yes, the wealth which you and your Asian and European clansmen and all the rich from Kenya share among yourselves, I will not take it. Just now, no amount of gold or ivory or gemstones would make me let Gatoni marry your son. But as for signing something, you will. Every debt must be paid here on earth. It is said the fat of the rich never smells, but yours, Kay, stinks all over the earth.
Jezebel peeps in and quickly rushes back to the inner rooms. The securico watchman and Ndugri and Helen enter. Kiguunda is not afraid, but Nguri and Helen are trembling with fear, and they do not seem to know what to do. The watchman takes out his whistle and starts blowing it and threatening Kiguunda from a safe distance. But whenever Kiguunda moves a step towards them, they all run to an even safer distance.
Wangichi, bring a piece of paper from that table. I want all these to witness. Apio Wakunuru's signature.
The watchman goes on blowing his whistle and threatening Kiguunda, but with his eyes very much on the door. Before Kiguunda gets the piece of paper, Jezebel enters with a gun, a pistol. The watchman and Ndugi race give way and follow behind her, now all acting brave. With her eyes on Kigunda's sword and pointing the gun at him, she walks to where her husband is and helps him to his feet with a hand. Wangeshi goes to where Kigunda is and tries to get the sword from him, but Kigunda pushes her away. Now it is the confrontation between the gun and the sword.
Put that sword down.
Kigunda at first refuses. Then he reluctantly lets the sword fall to the ground. Jezebel bends down and pushes the sword away. Pushes away the sword while still pointing the gun at Kigunda.
Get out! Get out of here!
Kigunda and Wangeshi start to leave, but at the door, Kigunda quickly turns round as if finally determined to regain his sword and fight it out. Jezebel fires the gun. Kigunda
Things fall
falls.
apart. All right, we've come to the end of the reading segment, and thank you everyone that participated and played in character. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. So at this point, I'll hand over to Samuel Boateng so he can handle the rest of the discussion. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Barnabas, and good evening, guys. My name is Samuel, and we are going straight into the review. So we have 30 minutes for the review, and we have 3 questions so far. So I'll assign 10 minutes to each question. So we go straight into the questions. So the first question is, do you think the criticism of the rich by the poor is simply a search for someone to blame for their problems, or has history provided valid reasons for such resentment? I'll be posting the question in the chat, but for the meantime, if you have an answer, you can raise up your hand and answer. The question is in the chat. Okay, Barnabas, you can go ahead and answer.
Okay, sorry, let me just quickly go through a question in chat box. So you're asking if the criticism of the rich people by the poor is simply a set for someone to blame. I think for most part of it is, because I often have issues when people who are poor, who don't have the means, keep blaming the rich and say, oh, everything that is going on. I'll use Nigeria for instance. Everything that's going wrong in Nigeria is the fault of the rich people. I have issues with this because I have plans to be very rich in this life. So I cannot start criticizing or critiquing rich people. I think this might have stemmed from the fact that a lot of the people they want to blame are politicians and they are rich. So they just keep generalizing it that, oh, the rich people are the reason for the issues in the country. Meanwhile, they forget that they too, deep down in their hearts, they want to be rich. Now, that's first point. Either that or it's from a religious bias. And I think it's probably taken out of context because a lot of people feel that. I think I'm saying this because particularly it's from Christianity that has been taken to the extreme that the rich people won't inherit the kingdom of God. And so whoever is poor and believes Christ feels that the rich is an evil man. He is evil. His riches will one day come to naught. So I think all these has a hand in playing in making people think that the rich people are the cause of their issues. Like I said, it may have stemmed from politicians who have probably used the money wrongly or money that was assigned for something wrongly, and then they just generalize it. But I'm not comfortable with that. And I think I also want to, sorry, this just crossed my mind now. I also want to talk about the issue where people go online to drag maybe a church built an auditorium, and then people go online and say, oh, the money used in building that church, you'd have built a company or some sort, something like that. I just want to point this out that it's not the work of the church to build company. Do you understand? It's not a problem if believers gather together and think to build an auditorium for themselves. Do you understand? To make the place of worship more convenient. So there you going online to drag the church and say they should have built factories. That is the work of the government. You should go and drag the government. And I see it a lot. I say this boldly that if the church is being run the way, if the country is being run the way some churches are run, I think this country will be a better place, because I have to give it to some churches with organization when it comes to organization and there's a word for it in my head, but I'm just saying that if the government is run as half as good as the church, this country will not be where it is now. So people should not blame the church. The church is playing its role. So whenever you see a church edifice and the church is going to build a company for the country, drag your government, tag them on Twitter instead of dragging the church. I'm just saying that you should know where to target your annoyance to. Same thing with poor people. Target the politicians. Don't generalize and say, all rich people are the cause of the problem in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barnabas. And Marcia, you can go ahead and talk.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So, I think for me to be both. The question states that are poor people right for criticizing rich people, basically. And I think that, first of all, everyone is responsible for their future and for how your life moves along. So you don't have to entirely blame a rich person or the rich people for how your life is going, because you would wish to end up there eventually. But I think in the perspective of the poor people, it's not, apart from the criticism, I also feel like they are trying to blame the lack of opportunities, that they feel rich people should create. Since you are way ahead, they feel rich people should create more opportunities for the poor people to have good jobs, to also be able to become rich. But the criticism it's not valid. But I get the point that sometimes poor people feel like rich people have more influence, or apart from rich people, the government and politicians. And once you are in a place of power, you should be able to help the poor people to at least live a suitable life. They don't have to be rich like them per se, but live a life that's comfortable, have social amenities, have good roads, all that. So I think it's a two-way thing. They are not entirely correct for criticizing the rich, because they are making their money, and that is that. But I think they can blame it from the perspective of just how the rich people can also help the poor people by providing opportunities, not by handing them the money, but providing an opportunity for people to get jobs to do, so that everybody can be comfortable. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Marcia. Divine, you can go ahead and talk.
Okay, good evening, everybody. So I understand the point of Nabas and I agree with him, but I want to speak from my perspective, which is that sometimes poor people criticize rich people because they feel like they are being exploited for cheap labor, and sometimes they feel that these rich people know that they are vulnerable. They'll take anything that is being thrown to them, right? So instead of them being paid what they are worth, they just pay them anything, and if you don't like it, leave it. So I think that from that perspective, poor people are in their right to criticize rich people for being exploited for cheap labor. That's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'd like to say something very brief also on that particular question. Well, yes, I believe that poor people blame rich people for their, for their poverty and everything. And it also has a history provided with valid reason for such resentment. Usually, when you look into history, you get to realize like the rich always exploits the poor, and every now and then, the rich people find themselves in position of power and places of making laws where they are always making the laws that protects them and their riches while still exploiting and taking from the poor. And when the poor tries to protest or anything, there's problem. We all see like what happens, in history people go out to protest for a better governance, and the next thing you see is the government releases, soldiers on the people, kills them, and then denies it. So yeah, it's based on history of resentment, and yes, they always blame the rich for it because the rich always coming up with laws and systems that's like keeping the poor more poorer whilst it keeps making them rich. So we move on to the next question, and the next question says, "What does independence truly mean for an African nation? How is it that decades after gaining independence, many of our countries still find themselves blaming their former colonizers for the challenges they face today?" So, the second question is posted in the chat, and if you have any answer to it, you can raise your hand. Okay, Ini, you can go ahead and talk.
Good evening, everyone. Um, okay, so the question says, what does independence mean for an African nation? I'll use Nigeria as a case study now. So Nigeria gained independence on October 1st, 1960. Yes. And throughout the reign, we've gone from military area to democracy, but we haven't seen any developments. Why? Because of our leaders. I don't know if this is some form of colonialism or something, but I believe that the white people are not to blame because they have given us independence. Everything, the ball is in our courts. Everything is in our hands now to do right, to do the right thing. But our politicians, our leaders, our governors, they don't want to do the right thing. Instead, they want to continue to oppress and steal. And I don't know. It's literally in our hands, but we can't seem to figure out a way to prosecute these bad leaders. So that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ini. Brown, you can go ahead and talk.
Okay. First of all, I would like to, before I express my thoughts on this, I'd like to begin by saying that yes, what we would refer to as colonial nations or the West has its tentacles and its influence on African nations for their own benefits. Okay. We've seen it in Libya with Gaddafi's era. We still see it even in Nigeria today with the Chinese and everything. Everybody has their influence. I mean, these countries have their influence. But we cannot take away the responsibility of the leaders, the Nigerian or the African leaders in this place. They have sovereignty, they have authority, they have autonomy, and they use that autonomy for the benefit of their pockets and their children's pockets and their friends' pockets. And that's why we see Africa like that. So I cannot blame the colonial quote unquote nations for that. The colonial nations are doing what the colonial nations are always doing, which is to protect their interests. What we are supposed to do is to protect our interests, but our leaders don't protect our interests, they protect their personal interests. And that is why Africa is the way Africa is. So I just wanted to state that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Brown. And I don't know. I'll just say C. So I don't know. Like I don't know how to mention your name. So kindly like C. You can go ahead and talk, and maybe you can mention your name for me so I can remember next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. My name is Chavian. Thank you. So, um, so the question is, what does independence truly mean for an African nation? First of all, from the I'm going to answer the question from the context of the book, the way it was presented. According to the book, the way independence was presented was supposed to bring freedom, but that freedom came at a cost. It came at a cost of living. You couldn't spend time with your family as you ought to. There was not enough food because then everything got controlled by a government. So then
what's the word now? The colonial masters, they brought all these things. They brought freedom. They were supposed to bring education. They were supposed to bring democracy and all of that to make everything better, religion and all. But then they didn't do that. And then when independence eventually happened, they taught people greediness. The leaders became greedy. People like you became Koi rather, I think that's how it's pronounced, became very greedy, and then they used religion to make other people poorer and to make other people suffer so that they get richer, they get free labor, they get cheap labor and all of that. So I think we should blame the colonizers. Yes, I will blame the colonizers for this, because if we were to be left to what we knew, what we had as our religion, what we had, we were not people who didn't have an education. We had all of that. We had education, we had our own religion, but then they brought theirs and they scattered everything. So now we have to live in the mess they created. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Sally, please go ahead and talk. And can you make it brief for us? We have like 10 minutes left.
All right. So, for me, my view is that it is both the colonizers' fault and the African leaders' fault, because the colonizers did a lot by stripping away a lot of our resources, and I feel like, in as much as we think colonization is a thing of the past, colonization is still going on, because we have organizations that still determine to our leaders what to do and what not to do, like the IMF, the World Bank, and all that. Yes, and then apart from that, the attitude of our leaders is not the best, because instead of being selfless whenever they are in power, they just go in, grab as much as possible for themselves and their families, and then step down. And then the next, so it's just like we are just plundering ourselves over and over again. And then we also have these um, foreign characters who just want to take away as much as possible from us. So yeah, that's a good.
Okay, Barnabas, I'll give you like maximum 2 minutes to say what you have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I agree with Chao Bien when she said something about the colonizers coming up to set up structures that were doing just fine. I remember this because I was having a conversation with somebody who is Igbo, and she was telling me about the Igbo history, and she said the Igbo originally, they did not have a system of kings. They had this thing where each family would bring a man from their tribe, and if they want to make laws or decide on something, they would bring the elders from each family and they debate on a particular law. But it was when the colonizers, the British, came, they had to set up the king structure the way they had it in England. So they set up the king, and then people had to report to the king, bring resources to the king and stuff like that. So they set up structures that we were not prepared for. So when they left, we now had to see how we could find our way in these structures, and because we're not used to these structures, we failed at them, and we've still been failing at it. As you can see now, they brought the democratic structure, everything like this. Before now, we're not even a democratic republic as it were. It was after they left. In fact, they made us aware of these systems, and we are now trying to grapple in the dark with these systems, and we are failing at it terribly. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Barnabas. So we move to the last question for tonight, and the last question says, do you think weddings today are more about public display or social expectations than actual union of two people in marriage? Or has the original intention always been about public display? So I'll post that in the chat. Okay, so the question is in the chat, and you can raise your hand if you want to. Sally, I see your hand up. I don't know, do you want to talk?
Yes. So weddings have always been a thing of public declaration. I won't say public display, because display is like you're trying to show off what you have. But then I'll say declaration because it was people expressing their love, people expressing that they are going to be together, regardless of the amount of money they spent or not.
But now with the ascent of social media, we have people comparing whose dress was nicer than who, whose food was nicer than who, this, that, that. So because of that whole culture of comparison and stuff, now it's more of a display than a declaration. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Is it? Oh, just Uzondu Mesuma. I don't know. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right, but you can go ahead and talk.
Okay, good evening. So initially, weddings were usually for, it was actually about an actual union of people in, in love to get married and stuff. But then we see that now it is evolving into something else. The other day I was having a conversation with my mom and we were talking about Ashwebi. She was like, she does not understand why there is Ashwebi of 200,000, there's Ashwebi of 100,000, there's Ashwebi of 50,000 in the same wedding. And I was trying to explain that, it's where your money reach that you will hang your clothes. And also the fact that at the end of the wedding, say person wey buy Ashwebi of 200k go get souvenir of 200k. It's no longer, it's not even about equality anymore. It's now everywhere. We are seeing in every aspect, every clinical, we are seeing that there is a type of level that they are giving each and everybody. Weddings sometimes now it might be about, if you have the money and you want to do a lavish wedding, go ahead and do your lavish wedding. But you cannot come and do wedding, spend the money we spend, do Instagram reel, be doing transition up and down, and at the end of the day, the wedding will come and scatter. I have a friend that got married in 2024. We are in 2026 and she's not marrying again. And the marriage ended last year. So it's not even, if you look at it, might not even be up to 1 year like that. Marriage have ended. So it moved from genuineness to sometimes a display.
Okay. See, you can go ahead and talk.
Okay. So I think there is nothing wrong with public display, like displaying in public that this is who I'm marrying. I'm happy to be marrying this person. Oh, we are in love. But then I know this is social media age where we make it look as if, oh, because this person is doing a lot of PDA, oh, they are showing off. I'm sure they are going through a lot underneath and everything. But I feel like marriage should be what the couple want it to be. If you want a small intimate wedding, that is okay. If you want it to be all glamorous, all Instagram worthy, it should be for you as a couple because that is what you want. So the original intention of the wedding, of the institution of marriage, is not lost. I do not think it is lost. I feel like it is lost because of all the way we view social media and what social media has done. I mean, the ills that social media has done to stuff like that, and what we now know that goes on with social media influencers and all of that. People who come and show that they are so much in love, but then underneath they aren't. Again, it is about what the couple wants. If they want a lavish wedding, that is what they get. If they want it to be intimate, that is what they get as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, C. And really up to 2 minutes. Okay, so I want to give 1 minute to anyone who has anything to say, anything in general concerning the book. Anyone, fast. Going 3, 2, 1. Okay, Barnabas.
Okay. So I just want to say that I just noticed that since that time, from then when the book was written to now, that weddings have, like I said, has progressed from just, this is my opinion, from just the union of two people to a very, I think now, so people are even more concerned about what the wedding looks like than what marriage would be after then. I just recently realized that there are some churches that have been approved by government to issue out marriage certificate. That so churches like Anglican and Catholic, so if you get married in these churches, you do not necessarily have to do a court wedding again, because it's the same certificate they would issue to you. So that helps you save costs. I just saw that today actually on Instagram. Someone was sharing it, so that you don't, because people do church wedding, court wedding, and traditional wedding, so which is a lot of expenses. So the person was saying that there are some churches that have been recognized, like Anglican, Catholic, and some Orthodox churches that have been recognized and approved by government. So if they issue a certificate to you, it's the same that the court would issue. So there's no.
Don't forget to hit the follow button and tap on the notification icon to stay updated. That's all for today's episode. To join our book club or stay updated on future discussions, follow us on Instagram and X at Jollof Book Club, Jollof with a double F. And thank you so much for listening.